Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Radha Jaya
Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhari Jaya Giridhari
Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajanatana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Rama Krishna Rama
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Hare.
ki jai. So we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 2, Text 35. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswati
Saraswati Sam
Ashtaprayeshu Abhateshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki.
Krishnaya Krishna Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Antagopa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare
Rama
Rama.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So the creation of the fourth order, canto 4, chapter 2, Daksha cursing Lord Shiva. So we are at the last text of this chapter. So we will be ending this chapter today. I don't know how to set up Prabhu. I have the mic ready, but it didn't work.
But I can listen.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So I'll recite the verse. You can follow. Aplutya
Aplutya
avapratham
avapritam
yatra
yatra
Ganga
Ganga
Yamuna
Yamuna
Yamunaya
Yamita
Anvita
Anvita
Virajena
Virjena
Atmana
Atmana
Sarve
Sarve
Swam Swam
Swam Swam
Dhamma
Dharma
Yayuhu
Yayu
Tataha.
Tataha.
Okay. Aplutya Vavratam Yatra
Aplutya Varabhrityam Yatra
Ganga Yamuna Yanvita
Ganga Yamuna Yanvita
Virajainatmana Sarve
Virajane Dramana Sarve
Vamsam Dhamma Yayustataha.
Swam Swam Dharmaya Yustata
Aplutya Vavratam Yatra
Aplutya Yatra
Ganga Yamuna Yanvita
Ganga Yamuna Yanvita
Virajainatmana Sarve
Virajenatmana Sarve
Vamsam Dhamma Yayustataha.
Swam Swam Dharmaya Yustata.
Anybody wants to recite?
Alputaiva bharatam yatra
Aplutya
Vavratam
Yatra
Ganga Yamuna Yanavita Ganga Yamuna Navita
Ganga Yamuna Yanvita
Virajena Tamana Sarve
Virajenatmana Sarve
Swam Samdhamaya Yustataha.
Swam Swam Dharmaya Yustata.
I will try to sing once again after you, Mataji.
Of course, Prabhu, Haribo.
Haribo.
Aplutya Varbritam Yatra
Yatra
Ganga Yamunyan Pita
Ganga Yamunayandita
Virajinatmana Sarve
Virajayatmanam
Swam Swam Dharmaya Yustataha
Swam Samdhamastataha. Prabhu, do you want to recite again?
Aplyutava bharatham yatra
Apurya Yarava Pratamyutra
Ganga Yamuna Ninavita
Ganga Yamunayanvita
Virajeta Manat Sarve Virajenata Mana Sarve
Virajinatmana Sarve
Tvam Samdhamaya Yustataha
Swam
Swam
Samdhamaya.
Yustataha.
Okay, so word by word translation. Translate synonyms and then translation. Purport with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Aplutya.
Apurya
Taking a bath.
taking a bath.
Avapratam.
Avabritam
The bath which is taken after performing sacrifices.
The
bath which is taken after performing sacrifices.
Yatra.
Yatra
One second, my screen. Yatra where?
Where?
Yatra where?
Where?
Ganga, the river Ganges.
Ganga, the river Ganges.
Yamunaya,
Yamunaya.
by the river Yamuna.
By the river Yamuna.
Anvita,
Anvita
mixed.
mixed.
Virajena,
Virajena
without infection.
without infection.
Atmana,
Atmana
mind.
by the mind.
By the mind.
Sarve
All.
all.
Swam, swam,
Swam swam
respective.
their respective.
Rama,
Dharma
abodes.
abodes.
Yayuhu,
Yayu
wind.
went.
Tataha,
Taha
from where? Sorry, from where?
from there.
Translation. My dear Vidura,
My dear
Vidura,
carrier of bows and arrows,
carrier of bows and arrows.
all the demigods
all
All the
the
demigods
who were performing the sacrifice
who are performing the sacrifice
took their bath
took their bath
at the confluence of the Ganges and the Yamuna
at the confluence of the Ganges and the Yamuna.
after completing the yajna's performance.
After completing the yajna performance.
Such a bath is called
Such a bath is called
Avabrata Snana.
Avabrita Snana.
After this becoming purified
After thus becoming purified
in heart,
in heart,
they departed for their respective abodes.
to their respective abodes.
Perfect. After Lord Shiva and previously Daksha left the arena of sacrifice, the sacrifice was not stopped. The sages went on for many years in order to satisfy the Supreme Lord. The sacrifice was not destroyed for want of Shiva or Daksha, and the sages went on with their activities. In other words, it may be assumed that if one doesn't worship the demigods, even up to Lord Shiva and Brahma, one can nevertheless satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavatam 7.20. Kamai sai thair hridajnanaha prapadyantenya devataha. Persons who are impelled by lust and desire go to the demigods to derive some material benefit. Bhagavad Gita uses the very specific words nasti buddhiha, meaning persons who have lost their sense or intelligence. Only such persons care for demigods and want to derive material benefits from them. Of course, this doesn't mean one shouldn't show respect to the demigods, but there is no need to worship them. One who is honest may be faithful to the government, but he doesn't need to bribe the government servants. Bribery is illegal. One does not bribe a government servant, but that doesn't mean that one does not show him respect. Similarly, one who engages in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord does not need to worship any demigod, nor does he have any tendency to show disrespect to the demigods. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, text, chapter 9, text 23, it is stated, Epi anya devata bhaktya bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha. The Lord says that anyone who worships the demigods is also worshipping him, but he is worshipping avidipurvakam, which means without following the regulative principles. The regulative principle is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Worship of demigods may indirectly be worship of the Personality of Godhead, but it is not regulated by worshipping the Supreme Lord, one automatically serving all the demigods because they are parts and parcels of the whole. If one supplies water to the root of a tree, all the parts of the tree, such as leaves and branches, are automatically satisfied. And if one supplies food to the stomach, all the limbs of the body, the hands, legs, fingers, etc., are nourished. Thus, by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can satisfy all the demigods. But by worshipping all the demigods, one does not completely worship the Supreme Lord. Therefore, worship of the demigods is irrelevant and it is disrespectful to the scriptural injunctions. In the age of Kali, it is practically impossible to perform the Devayamya or sacrifices to the demigods. As such, in this age, Srimad Bhagavatam recommends Sankirtana Yagya. Yajnaya Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Sumedasaha. Bhagavatam 11.5.32. In this age, the intelligent person completes the performances of all kinds of yajnas simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tashmin tuste jagat tustaha. When Lord Vishnu is satisfied, all the demigods or parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord are satisfied. Thus, in the Bhakti Vedanta, the purpose of the fourth canto, second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Daksha Curses Lord Shiva. Savadvaidam Savadam Chaitanya Devi Sri Krishna Jai Shri Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Mataji, the sound is dropping out. Cannot hear you.
I was doing Mangalacharya quietly. Okay. So, Shishi Gauranatai, Shri Prabhupad. So, I'll read the translation once again. My dear Vidura, carrier of bows and arrows, all the demigods were performing the sacrifice, took their bath at the confluence of the Ganges of the Yamuna after completing the Yajna performance. Such a bath is called Avabratasthana, and thus becoming purified in heart, they departed for their respective abodes. So we are at the last text, as I was saying before. Wait 1 second. So the overview of this chapter, we see the Yajna performance was arranged by the sages and leading by Daksha, because he's the leader of the Prajapatis. And he is coming into the arena of the sacrifice. And we just noticed that Lord Shiva is still sitting, and everyone else paid respect by standing up. And Lord Brahma, because being father of Daksha, he did not stand up, but he welcomed Daksha, and by signal or gesture, he asked asked Daksha to sit down. However, Daksha noticed Lord Shiva is still sitting. Because of the material relationship he has with Lord Shiva being the son-in-law of Daksha, Daksha expected respect from Lord Shiva, but forgetting the real position of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu, all the maintainers, destroyers, and the creators of the whole creation, of the material creation. So, not understanding that, Daksha made an offense by insulting Lord Shiva by very in such a bad manner. But he was saying that Lord Shiva doesn't have any good manners. We also noticed Lord Shiva's wardrobe was not accepted by Daksha. He was making comments about how Lord Shiva is dressed, etc., and where he lives. You also saw how it is mentioned, even Daksha agrees Lord Shiva means all our species, but he doesn't agree that Lord Shiva is our species because of this particular behavior. And Prabhupada also, Prabhupada, is mentioned why he is all our species, because you see Lord Vishnu taking care of all the ones who surrendered or a mode of goodness, all the Vaishnavas taken care of by Lord Vishnu. And Brahma, all the ones who are passionate about the material wealth, accumulation, etc., Lord Brahma takes care of them. And who will be taken care of by Lord Shiva if they are out of good ignorance? Who will be taken care of if they are in ignorance? That would be Lord Shiva. So if you see, sometimes you have tuition masters. In India, we have a lot of tuition centers available, and especially there is something called tutorials. Tutorial mean one who failed in 10th standard or year 10 or year 12, they go to the particular school in a small platform, and they learn whatever they missed out their year 10 or year 12, they just relearn, study again under the supervision of the teachers, private teachers. So all the ones who are good at marks, education, they move on to the next level. I remember when I was preparing myself to go to the 11, the school that we chose is full of free of charges. They have government school, but the catch is they only select the students that they are above the particular marking criteria, like above 85% or something from year 10. So that means they already filter good students and put them in year 11 and year 12. Then the score of year 12 students will be higher naturally. That's their criteria. So when I was going to the school, luckily I had good marks. I was selected to the school, and then I got into the 12. But if the students fail, they can't even imagine going to the school. Normal school, what to speak of the special schools. So they have to go to the tutorial. So like, you need the society, all part of the divisions, all divisions of the members in the society should be taken care of by somebody, some leaders. Otherwise, it is depressing. Right? The students fail and they cannot be taken care of by any particular medium, and then it will become a disaster. And even in India, the students, even if they could, go to schools and coming from good family, they commit suicide because of lack of education in the material world, just general education, not just academic education, but even general education. So they commit suicide. So it is very depressing and devastating. So if the ghosts, or people who are in ignorance, if they are rejected from the society, they're not taken care of by any members of any fingers of the society, then what will be the destination for them? What emotions will hold for them, right? So Lord Shiva very mercifully, he is accepting all the ghosts and similar kind of creatures and helping them to get delivered, which is very hard. As I was saying, if someone fails at year 10, getting them past year 10 again by giving all the opportunities and making them steady and pass the subjects, very hard because they already not very advanced in the academic level. It's very challenging for the teachers. Similarly, for Lord Shiva also, it's very challenging. It's not easy to make them study. I'm sorry, not make them study, make them get them delivered. Therefore, Lord Shiva is all species. Not understanding the factors, elements of Lord Shiva, Daksha made the offenses due to anger. So out of anger, one may become ready to do or say anything, right? And in Vallabha, when he wrote a book, he made a point about the doctor saying you need to give 90 seconds pause when you are angry or in any emotions. And when you do that, when you give that pause, we discussed this also in one of our classes before, where other members and Ranganath Prabhu also he mentioned that when we give pause to something, that particular emotion, we give ourselves a break to that emotion, and then we get the intelligence, we say, to make the right decision if we are educated scripturally. But unfortunately, we are not well educated. That's problem. See, Daksha is not undereducated at all. He is a leader of Prajapatis. He should know better of how to welcome the guests, not to expect the welcome or respect from the guests. So instead of welcoming them, he was expecting Lord Shiva to head up and give his seed, etc. So the curses, Nandishwara started the curse, and then we see Prabhu also come to curse. So this went back and forth. We see now at the end of this, Lord Shiva went after the counter curse happened. Lord Shiva also did the Daksha already lived. But it is mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam. That doesn't mean the sacrifice was stopped. It just continued, right? And that's the right way of doing it, because you started the sacrifice for the well-being of the prajas. Now, because of this false ego of one person, we shouldn't, the prajas shouldn't be deprived of getting the benefits of the sacrifice. Therefore, it continued. So we see from the Puranas, the Itihasas also how one when gets angry and what are the consequences they face. There is anger, there is envy, there is forgetfulness from the side of Daksha. We see forgetfulness of position of Lord Shiva, forgetfulness of the position of Lord Vishnu, and the purpose of the sacrifice, the object of the sacrifice, that is all about Vishnu.
Yagna Purusha. He forgot all those factors, right? And he went on and on about me, my. So much self-centric attitude. And how can the leader be so, so much, what do you say, covered by this mode of illusion or ignorance, right? So we see Nandishwara cursing is not new. From Ramayana also we see Nandishwara cursing Ravana. So I want to divert the topic to Ravana. You see, when there is curse happening, if the curse was directed to the devotees, the curse becomes the blessings. Whereas when the curse was directed towards the demons, it stays as curse. But if the demon is a devotee, like the Prashura, then it just still becomes blessings. So in Ravana's case, he is Rakshasa. So one time what happened? He wanted to prove his supremacy in the creation. So he went and fought with the Devas, and he won the battle. And he defeated Kubera, occupied the Lanka, and also the Pushpaka, that is golden chariot. If you think of something, some destination to go to, just in your mind, if you think the Pushpaka Vimana will take you there. That's the power of Pushpaka. And it is not just a chariot, it's like a palace, golden palace, with full of ornaments and decorated with ornaments and gems and whatnot. And it was originally designed for Lord Brahma, and then passed on to different places, demigods, and then finally came to Kubera, and then from Kubera, go into Rakshasa in a wrong way to Ravana. So Ravana was using this chariot for going around the universe to see where else he can show his supremacy. So he went on to go to the next place after getting the chariot. He was just wandering about the forest, and he noticed that a lot of rishis, doing the sacrifices. This always happens. Even in Vishwamitra's episode, we see Marishi and there was another demon, disturbing the sacrifices performed by rishis. They were just dropping volumes of plants and puzzles and excretions and urines and everything. They were disturbing pretty much. And then Ram went and killed the demon, and the rishi was thrown out of the place. But here, in Ravana's case, Ravana was traveling with thousands of Rakshasas, and they were all disturbing the sacrifice. The yagnas, say that they're doing exact same things. So this is behavior of people. So even in today's modern world, also we see people who are ignorant. They don't live peacefully, and they don't let others live peacefully. Also, they continuously disturb in one way or another. And coming back to the story, he was doing that, and then and he kept doing that. He just was looking around, wondering, and he noticed there was a lady sitting at the table. He was so shocked, amazed how a lady is meditating in this lonely, dark forest. Then he wanted to go down, approach the lady, and he did that. And he asked the Rakshasas to stay up, and he went down. And then when he approached the lady, he was very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And then she started, actually he disguised himself as a man, like a human, and then went in a human form. And he approached the lady and started flattering with the flattering words. So beautiful, you asked me to be fortunate and become my wife and the queen of Lanka and everything. He didn't mention Lanka as such, but he mentioned to become a queen, etc. She opened the eyes, and because she has been doing this tapasya for thousands of this, and she knew who he was. She knew this is Rakshasa Ravana. And she opened her eyes and told, my name is, I mean, he asked, who are you? What is your name? So she said, my name is Vedavati. I'm the incarnation of Vedas. And I'm here doing meditation. I'm son of great sage, and who's the son of great preceptor, God's preceptor, Saraswati. And I'm here doing this tapasya to get Vishnu as my husband. And only Vishnu can become my husband once you stop all your imagining this place to save your life. And then he was laughing and started defaming and defiling Lord Vishnu, saying, who is Lord Vishnu anyway? He's not more powerful than me, etc. He knew who Lord Vishnu is. He knew Lord Vishnu is the Lord of Vishnu. But because he was so puffed up with his power that he opined, and he was so much in ignorance, he started talking this way, which offended Vedavati very badly. And before she was going to react, what he did, Ravana touched the locks. She had a long locks, beautiful long locks, and he touched the locks of Vedavati. Then she became insulted of having touched her by, Rakshasa. So immediately with her power, she cut the hair part that he touched, and then she said, she cursed Ravana that you insulted me, so I will take birth and I will be the cause of your destruction and all of your race. So then saying that, she invoked the fire within herself, but killed herself. And within her very own eyes of Ravana, she disappeared. And he was disappointed, oh, I lost a beautiful woman, but then she didn't care because she had so many other beautiful women in his palace to look after him. So he left the forest and moved on. Then he was thinking, where else I should go next. Then he went to heavenly planets. And no one was ready to fight with him because he already received the boon from Lord Brahma that no demigods or created beings can kill him. Therefore, but the one trick was, it's similar to Hiranyakashipu. The behavior of Ravana is similar to other Rakshasas also. You see, Hiranyaksha also wanted to prove his supremacy. He was looking for someone to battle with him. He went everywhere. Finally went to Varuna. The Varuna said, no, I'm old man. So you go to Lord Vishnu. And same with Ravana's case also. He also wanted to prove his power. He was going everywhere pretty much. And Hiranyakashipu also did tapasya to receive boon from Brahma, not to be killed by this and that, and all these conditions. But he missed the point of how Lord Krishna can come in any form to kill a demon, to protect their devotees, to bring back the religion. So with Ravana's case also, he was foolish to miss the point that with humans and animals, no death by humans or animals, he did not ask because he thought he's so powerful that humans are puny and animals are even punier. So he thought, no, they can't kill me. So this was his foolishness. And Lord Brahma gave this boon that he thought he's immortal. And demigods also were afraid of fighting against Ravana when he came to Indraloka. And they flew away. And then they all became afraid. They went to Vishnu to complain about this. And then, meantime, Ravana went to Amaravati, the place of Indra. And then he was laying down, having some rest. And then he was just wandering and noticed Urvashi, Apsara. Of course, celestial being, Apsaras, more beautiful than other ordinary women. So he was so much fallen for her, and he wanted to enjoy her. So Ravana approached Urvashi, And of course, Urvashi was already committed to Nala Kubera, one of the sons of Kubera. And she was not ready to give herself to this Rakshasa. So she fought against, in the sense, as a woman, whatever she could do to protect her chastity, she did that. But because Ravana was so cruel and not respecting women, he raped Urvashi. And after that, she went and complained to Nala Kubera. Finally, she cried and she told what happened. She narrated all the things happened. Nala Kubera became very angry. He couldn't do anything much because he doesn't have that much power to fight against Ravana. Therefore, he cursed. He said, "Well, because you did this, if you touch another woman again or rape, you will die immediately." So then he moved on. He didn't care much about these type of things. He doesn't, he thinks he's so powerful. He thinks he's so powerful. Just moved on. He didn't even sit and read because he has been received so far. And then next, he wanted to go to the next place where again he can prove himself. So he chose this Ayodhya. And he went to Ayodhya. I think his name, the king was ruling, his name is Anaraya or something like that. So he is the ancestor of Dasharath, Shvatamachandra, etc. So he went there and then he wanted to fight with him. And of course, the king was so powerful, but not as powerful as Rakshasa, unfortunately. He was powerful, but because Rakshasa Ravana had so much power received because of the boon, he was not, this king was not able to kill the Ravana, Rakshasa Ravana. So he tried everything. If he was another king, he would have easily killed. Even if it was demigod, the king Anaraya, he would have killed the demigod easily because he was so powerful with his military arts and everything. And his army also very powerful. So they tried their best. And even single-handedly, he started fighting against Ravana. But still, he was unsuccessful. And he started using that weapon. Oh, no. I don't know if he received the weapon before. Let me just quickly check. So yeah, actually, before he went to the human world, he went to Mount Kailash, and even Mount Kailash he went to, and there Nandishwara in a different form. He had a monkey's head, and he had bodily features which were abnormal, and he was guarding Mount Kailash. So with his chariot, he was traveling around that. He was passing by Mount Kailash, but he couldn't pass through Mount Kailash. It was stopped. He couldn't move further. Then he got down and looked around what happened, and then he noticed this Nandishwara standing guarding, and he started, he approached Nandishwara and started insulting Nandishwara that, oh, you have monkey form and you're a monkey, and he started defaming. And then Nandishwara saying this is the Lord of Lord Shiva, and he was, telling him guarding. But he started defaming Lord Shiva also. Who is Lord Shiva, like that? And because he insulted, Ravana insulted his master, he became very angry. Similar to the situation of Daksha's case also. When Daksha, when Daksha was insulting Lord Shiva, Nandishwara got up and became furious, and he started cursing them, correct? The same thing happened there. So even for the demigods, if that was the situation, getting the curse, even for the Brahmanas, then what to speak of the Ravana? He's after all a demon, and therefore Nandishwara cursed this Rakshasa Ravana, he said, because you insulted me in my form, your death will be by the monkeys, a group of monkeys. There will be many monkeys born, and they will have so power, and they will destroy you. They will be the cause of your destruction. So, and after that, what happened? He didn't care. So he said, "I will move this mountain away from my, path, and I will just carry on with my things. I don't care whatever the person you say." And what he did, he tried to move the mountain. He tried to pull the mountain, and he did that with his power. And as soon as he moved it up, the mountain just jerked, and Parvati Devi, she slipped and fell on Lord Shiva. And she asked, "What happened, my lord?" Lord Shiva said, "Okay, I understand this is the doing of Rakshasa, and this is Ravana. Don't worry, nothing will happen. I'll protect everybody." And just simply by pressing, Shiva was pressing with his toe, and it just went back down on the mountain, pressing this 20 arms of this Ravana. And then when it pressed his arms, it was so painful, he started screaming, and he couldn't move away from this situation. He was just crying loud and louder. Then his ministers came to Ravana and said, "Look, you have to appease Lord Shiva. He is called Ashutosh. He's a healing priest. You need to please him. Otherwise, you have to be stuck here. And you just pray to him, offer him some prayers." See, this is another ironic part is Ravana knew all the scriptures in and out, right? Even Daksha also in and out, but still the way they behaved was so bad, right? So how they even knowing, even for Hiranyakashipu, when he gave Atmanyana to Hiranyaksha's wives, he had the knowledge, spiritual knowledge and everything. But because of bad association, they all fell down. Ravana's case also, he knew the Vedas very well. So he started reciting the hymns to glorify Lord Shiva from Samaveda. And he did that for hundreds of years, 100 years at least he did that for 100 years. And during the time, his chariot was still waiting, and they were all Rakshasas, they were still waiting. And then after that, Lord Shiva became pleased, and then he came and relieved Ravana. He said, "Now you can go and just carry on with your thing. Don't behave this way again." And Lord Shiva, because he is so powerful, Ravana understood this, and he asked for a boon. "Lord Shiva, if you are pleased with my prayers, please give me a boon." What is it? I need a weapon, And through mind, Lord Shiva transferred that knowledge of the weapon so he can use that in time. So he got that. So during the course of his traveling, he got so many curses except one weapon. But even then, Lord Shiva, in his mind, he said, "Well, I'm giving you the weapon, but again, you will die soon. By using the weapon, you will be the reason for your own death." And he was accumulating sins more and more as he was traveling from Vedavati, Nandishvara, from Nalakubera, and next he was thinking, "Okay, now I need to go to Daityas, Diti's sons, the demons." So he is a Rakshasa, so he wanted to now fight with the demons. So because no one is equal to him at the moment, that's what he thought. So he wanted to go to the next level of fighting. So he thought, okay, maybe the Daityas can give me some, But before that, he went to the human world. That's where Ayodhya was fighting with the king, and he used Pasupata weapon. It's why the king was not able to compete with him. At the time of his death, what he did, the king cursed Ravana and said, "In my dynasty, there will be a king born, and he will kill you and all of your race." And then he died. And again, he least bothered. Ravana was least bothered about all these curses, and especially coming from humans. He never respected humans. They were like ants for him, right? So he moved on, and then he was going to fight against the Daityas, the demons. That time, Narada Muni came. With Narada Muni, he always had a good relationship, Ravana had. Because Ravana thought Narada Muni is the well-wisher of Ravana, always giving good advice and let it work. Even with Hiranyakashipu also, Narada Muni did that, right? Of course, Narada Muni is devotee and pure devotee, gives good advice and well-being. He's the well-wisher of all the jivas, even for the demons. But again, the purpose of Narada Muni doing this to the demons, especially, or Rakshasas, to make sure that Vishnu comes quicker, so that the fasts move faster. So when Ravana was coming forward, he saw Narada Muni and he stopped, and Narada Muni, they were exchanging some conversations. And then Narada Muni suggested that, well, see, you are very powerful and you're traveling around everywhere, you see your power. Maybe you should win the Lord of Death. Then you can show the entire universe how powerful you are. That means you go to Yamaloka, fight with Yamaraj, and then you will sing. Then he thought, oh, that's a good idea, I will go. Then he went there. And then in Yamaloka, he is seeing all these wicked persons being beaten up by the Yamadutas, millions of Yamadutas, and there is two abodes. One is the hellish condition where people are suffering, and there is another part where it's beautiful, like a heaven, heavenly landscape, and everyone is enjoying, whoever the men and women, they are enjoying drinks and whatnot, food and everything opulent. So it is understood, it's not that the people who have accumulated piety, they go to this place in the same Yamaloka, it looks like it from reading that part of Ramayana, and then the other part where in the hellish condition, people who are sinful go to there, get the punishment for the reformation. So he's seeing these Yamadutas beating up all these wicked persons, and what he did, he started beating back the Yamadutas. Why? Is he compassionate towards the people who are suffering? No. He wanted Yamaraja to come so that he can fight with Yamaraja, because you don't know where is Yamaraja. He's abroad. He went to Yamaloka. Again, you see the power of demon or Rakshasas or demigods or even humans. They travel. Even Dasharatha Maharaj went to heavenly planets, to help the demigods to fight against demons. This happened many times. A lot of things, great things, when they were ruling the earth, they go with the army to help the demigods, etc. So the power of traveling between the journey between planets are very common. And Arjuna traveled many times also to heavenly planet, and hellish planet also. Lord Vishnu, Krishna. When he was searching for the sons of Brahmana. So we see that they travel here and there just like that, by thinking they could just do it. And but in Kali Yuga, the yajna not possible, such traveling is not possible. The only recommended process is Sankirtana yajna of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So coming back to this, and finally he made Yamaraja to come to him, right? Because he was so much aggressive and was trying to kill Yamadutas. So Yamadutas are very powerful, and they attacked. So many came, lakhs and lakhs came and attacked Ravana, Swami, Ravana. But he started attacking them. So therefore, Yamaraj came directly in person. And then he started fighting, and at the time, death personified, he said, well, Master, leave him to me, I'll kill him at once. Then Yamaraj was like, nah, it's insulting for me to let him, killed by anyone, I'll kill him myself, it's easy. And Ravana, not understanding the power of Yamaraj, he was fighting, and they both were bleeding at one stage, because of the attacks by weapons and everything. And that time Lord Brahma came, and he only Yamaraj can see Brahma. Ravana couldn't see, only he could see. And Brahma started giving advice to Yamaraj and saying, this Ravana should be killed by Vishnu, so leave him now. So this is not the time for his death. So let him go and don't worry about it. And then Yamaraj understood because there is a purpose for Lord's coming, so I shouldn't interfere with the divine will. So I let him go. So he disappeared from the place. And Yamadutas continued to do what they were doing. They didn't care about Ravana. They started beating up the wicked persons. They just continued with their work. And Ravana got up from the ground and looked at seeing Yamaraj missing. Then he became very happy and proud. And wow, so now I defeated Yamaraj also. Now he ran away from this place. Now who else to prove? I proved myself everywhere. So he was so puffed up and not understanding, his position and receiving so many curses. And he moved on. But then we know what happened to Ravana. The death was very near, right? And yeah, I think that's it. The Ravana story. So we see that. But one thing, one common thing here is if we do any bad activity in olden days, anything offending others, intentionally or unintentionally, the offense was made, there was sure to be a curse given, whether it's to be demigods or to demons or rakshasas, whoever, for humans. But also the kings they were so powerful to give curses, like King of Ayodhya, the Toy. So he was also very powerful to give the curse. But these in Kali Yuga, you see the energy is still working. The curse is nothing but the energy, right? So energy is like, because they are also the power of spirituality that they have performed so far. The benefit also they can use to give the curses. That is also the fact. But the energy is there. We see even in Kali Yuga, when someone has the negative energy passing on to one, that energy when it is received by the person, the other person, there is some effect in some form or the other. They will receive that, whether that is good vibe or bad, it is received. Like, oh, in Kali Yuga also, we shouldn't think, we don't have the power to curse or giving the bad, thoughts. No, it will still work. Therefore, as devotees, we need to be very careful of, first of all, not becoming angry. If we are so busy with Kirtanya Sadahari, Sadatam Kirtayanto, always busy with chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, hearing and chanting, if we are so busy with that, what will happen? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there are two dangers in our spirituality. One is Vaishnava Brahma, the other one is the weeds of materialism. So when we remove these factors, we can go on, watering the devotional creeper very easily without any problems. Otherwise, these things will affect the taste of our devotional service and will put a halt on our path. And then it will take so much time to get out of it. So Chaitanya Charitamrita also we see that the curse given to this, what his name, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was served nice prashadam, then Amogha Lila, his name, yeah, Amogha was, saying bad things about how sannyasi can speak so much. Then automatically he was cursed, right? From Jagannath Pandit. Who was he? The couple who served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya serving family to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his brother-in-law Amogha was saying ill about the eating behavior of sannyasi. Then he was cursed immediately, and then the curse worked. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, on forgiving, he tolerated the insult and he forgave, and then he became a devotee. Amogha became a proper devotee. we all call ourselves devotees, but then are we doing devotional service as per the injunctions of the scriptures by acharyas? Means only we know. So we need to constantly assess ourselves before assessing or judging others. Are we in a position? Because if we look at others and how they are performing, meaning we have so much time and we are using our time to do those activities instead of doing that judgment, because we are not appointed to judge anybody. We are not in authority position to judge anybody, and we are not acharyas or gurus or management. Then we shouldn't be doing those activities. Instead, we should spend our time in preaching, cultivating ourselves, cultivating others. And by doing this, we will become busy. That's why we should keep ourselves busy. If we have things to do, then we will be occupied in that. So, for example, I'm not a great person, not good person naturally. I commit so many offenses, so many thoughts, anarthas in my mind and heart. So I try to engage myself in a lot of activities. In spite of that, also I do a lot of tasks or anartha activities. But still, I want to do this and that. Like for example, Bhakti or psychology degree, helping Vallabha with his books and reading and things like that. And so many activities I try to engage myself and I still have so much time. I work full time as well. I still think I have plenty of time available. Then what happens when I have plenty of time? Then I do all the nonsense activities. Not activities, but thoughts itself is enough for me, right? And then also activities. So to avoid that, if I have free time, and then if I wanted to do something not favorable in Krishna conscious activity, then I think, well, if I am in good mindset, of course, if I am in ignorance, the day of ignorance, then of course I'll do all wrong things. But if I am in mode of goodness, or close to mode of goodness, then I think, well, I have this to do next. So I wanted to prepare for this exam. I wanted to prepare for that exam, or I wanted to prepare for preaching material. So, or well, Vallabha's things, for example. I think one or other that will come because I have so many to do, and I haven't taken some remote preaching activities. So that is also there if I wanted to do it. Then those are things available for me. So instead of wasting time, I have those things ready to go. All I have to do is, okay, if I'm bored with one activity of devotional service, then I choose another and then move on like that. Because our mind is always monkey-minded. So we just jump here. So we keep ourselves with the writing activity or reading or hearing or preaching or helping others or anything in that way. Or even something not directly related to Krishna consciousness. So I'm doing psychology for devotee care. Something indirect also. I'm doing academic study, but still helping somehow or one way or another in devotion. So yeah, so that is how I try to do it to get out of my own anarthas, but still it doesn't work 100%, of course, because I'm so in low mode of condition, material nature. But I'm praying and I'm trying, but we'll see. But let's do that. Try to do that, not to get angry or get into those kind of impurities. Cleanse ourselves with all the cleansing agents that is available for us as scriptures and move on to pray. Thank you very much. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Ram, 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 Hare, Hare.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Any questions or thoughts?
Thank you, Isvari Mataji, for the class today. Many of those pastimes that you shared around Ravana's poor behaviors, I actually haven't heard of. So I'm very keen to read a little bit more on that. Thank you very much. And that really does, just another example of very poor behavior, as you say, very much in line with how Daksha was behaving. So that was a really nice example for me, and I'd like to learn more about those pastimes. Thank you, Isvari. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Ishwari Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, and I am unable to understand this one, you know. Apulyatya yav bhratam. When I go through it, taking a bath, the bath which is taken after performing sacrifices. So these are two words combined together, is it?
No, Prabhu, this is only one verse. So after the yajna performance, so it is saying that the demigods who were performing the sacrifice took their bath at the Sangha, the Ganga Yamuna Sangha, so the confluence. So after completing that, so they after yajna they take bath. So before yajna, before the starting of yajna, also they take bath, and after also they do that. So the process is called Avaprata Snana. So that after finishing sacrifice, they take snana, and they in heart they become purified. So because body also internally and externally, by doing sacrifice internally they get the purification, because Krishna's Lord Vishnu, Yajna Purusha, becomes pleased by receiving the sacrificial oblations from all of them, and then internally they all the attendants of the sacrifice they get purified. Externally they cleanse themselves by taking bath in the sacred rivers like Ganga and Yamuna. So this verse is concluding verse of the entire chapter. So it's all done, you go home. That's it, like that. So they are departing to their respective abodes. That's what it says. So when you look at that, Avapratam, that is where it is mentioned. Prabhupada saying in the translation, Avaprata Snana. Avapratam is the bath which is taken after performing sacrifices.
Okay. And
Yeah,
both rivers are mentioned here, Ganga and Yamuna.
Yes, Prabhu. The confluence, the where they meet, the confluence is where the Ganga and Yamuna meet. That part of the river they take bath.
Okay. That is Varanasi or somewhere.
Varnas, Prayag.
Prayag.
So it is in Prayag. So Avaprata, it is saying here that it indicates ceremonial bath at the conclusion of any major religious rite, like that, like sacrifice in this case.
So you did very hard work, but this sound system, onto the Zoom is bit of a, not very clear to me at least. I don't know. Yamuna Mata, how was it to you?
Yeah, sometimes it just dropped out a little bit, Ishvari, but it's okay. We'll work on that. We'll get the that system working properly at the temple. Thank you.
It should work, Mataji. It's just that when I was trying to sit in a different position, I go away from the mic. That's when the voice drops. But otherwise,
no, it was all right. It just drops out every. Yeah, it's a bit temperamental.
Sorry about that.
Next time I will come to temple to attend the class.
Yay!
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ishwari
Thank
Mata.
you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Happy Rath Yatra today. Those who are going.
Recording stopped.
Prabhu, do you have any corrections?
Actually, video is very fine, but voice, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, 1 second, Ranganath Prabhu. Do you need mic? They should hear also.
Thank you, Mataji, for wonderful service to the devotee, for the pleasure of worships and for the congregational members here. And you highlighted very nicely how pride can bring so much confidence. Pride is doing that. we should not ask them. It's very, very science. It's a very science. I'm using a set of plants
Yes,
and singing nice things and verifying nice music. Another set of
correct.
plants. The plants which were being abused, they start to suffer and die.
Guidance. Yes,
So the power of Vedanta is there. So
correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. Mohinder Prabhu, were you saying something?
No, thank you very much. I was just looking at the idols.
Okay, sure,
Deities.
Prabhu.
Deities. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Do you want to
Thank
see closer? Wait, Prabhu is showing.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jai Haribo.
Hare
1 minute.
Krishna. How are you, Prabhu? Thank
Shishi Gonitai Ki Jai.
Yeah.
Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Hari Bol. Ishwari Mata Ji ki jai.
Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank you. Haribo.
Hari Bol. Hari